Okay, this week we've been learning about multiplying and dividing integers, and this lesson's going to just be really quick to explain a little bit more about what we've been learning at school. If you've missed a couple days or if the parents at home want to take a look at what we're doing and how we're doing it, here you go. First of all, we're going to start with multiplying positive integers together. So this is just like normal multiplying. So I'm going to take green, and we'll think of that as positive today. So this is 3 times 3. So this is just regular 3 groups of 3. So 1, 2, 3. And if I add them all up, I know that this is going to give me 9, and it's a positive 9. If I want to show this in a number line, I'm going to jump 3 groups of 3. So 1, 2, 3, and I end up at 9. So those are 2 ways that the students are representing or learning how to represent their multiplication. They can do it in groupings, they can do it on number lines, they could do it in their heads, they could think of money, they could think of temperature. It's anything they want to do to make it worthwhile in their brains for them. So on the next one, we need to think of it a little bit differently. So we're going to look at 3 groups of -3, or it could be written backwards as -3 times 3 groups, so 3 groups of -3. I'm going to just change the color over to red here, and I'm going to do 3 groups of -3. So right here, this has an answer of -9, and the way I would show this on a number line is just going to be 3 groups of -3. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, and that's how I get my -9. The next one here is a little more complicated. So all the classes are learning right now that 2 negatives make a positive, so they just know that as a rule, but how does it make a positive is a little bit more confusing. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to make 3 groups of -3, even though that's not what the question's asking of me. And I'm going to add 3 groups of +3 in there as well. Oh, sorry, my computer's about to die. So I'm going to take this for a little walk over to the power cord. 1 second. Okay, so we're good. So we have 3 groups of +3 now as well. And what I want to do is read this again. So this is -3 groups times -3. So this is like taking away -3 groups. So what I need to do right now is I'm going to take my little eraser and I'm going to take away 3 negative groups. So I'm eliminating my negatives. And what I'm left with is +9. And this one is always going to be difficult on how to explain it, and that's the best way that we can think of how to do it right now, but we have 3 groups of +3 left over. So we can still show it on a number line like this. Or we could take our negatives. Oh, look at me writing in red. That's supposed to be negative. Let me go over that in green. So +9. What I could do is I could still take my negative, jump 3 groups of -3, and then I could erase it and change it into positives as well. But it's easier for the students just to know that 2 negatives are always going to make a positive, no matter if it's in multiplying or dividing. So there you go. -3 times -3 is +9. Now looking into dividing, I'm going to start with our normal positive numbers, and I'm going to take a group of 9, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and I'm going to divide them into 3 equal groups. And then I'm going to ask myself how many is in each group. Oops. So not very good. But how many is in each group? 3 positive numbers. So right now, if I started at 9 and I wanted to jump back into 3 equal groups, get back to 0, how many is in each group? Well, I know that there's +3 in each group. So 9 divided by 3 is 3. Looking here, I'm going to change over and start at my -9, and I need to do the same thing, jump back to 0, making 3 equal jumps. So how many did I jump by? I jumped by -3 each time. Okay, not +3 because I'm on the left side of 0. I jumped -3. And the negative always wins. So if you see a negative and a positive in a question, the negative always wins. And back here, again, 2 negatives make a positive. You could go and jump 3 groups of -3 again to get back to 0 and eliminate that like we did in the last question. and make it into a positive, and you're going to see that -9 divided by -3 gives us a answer of, sorry, +3 each time. Okay, so here are the quick rules for multiplying integers. If you have a positive multiplied by another positive, the answer will always be positive. If you have a negative and a positive, or a positive and a negative, the negative always wins. So what I tell the students is the bad guy in math is always going to win, unfortunately, and the negative takes over. Two negatives, two wrongs make a right. I know that's not what we're supposed to be teaching, but in math right now, that's how it's going to go. Two wrongs make a right, so two negatives make a positive. And the rules are the exact same in dividing as well. So two positives always make a positive. The negative is always going to win in this question because it's the opposite of multiplying, right? So it's going to be the exact same thing. And two negatives will always make a positive. And that's just a couple rules to get you by this week. And next week we're going to look at a couple of little games and look a little bit further into this, and then finish up our unit on integers. So far so good. The kids seem to be understanding it, and hopefully now you do as well. Thank you and good luck.